Welcome back to the Football Tragics. Campo, we're finally back. Premier League football is back. International break is over, and the least said about that international break, the better. Australia sucked. Italy didn't qualify for a World Cup. I'll give you a quick 30 seconds. Talk to me through that. Obviously, your thoughts on Australia, your thoughts on Italy. Now, the way they went out of the World Cup is probably the most crazy thing, because I think if you would have asked 100 people, 50 would have said Portugal going to beat them in that playoff game. But obviously, it was North Macedonia. So, what were your thoughts on those qualifiers?
I just couldn't believe Italy bottled it. It's North Macedonia. That should have been an easy, comfortable win. But again, that's why we love football. You can have these off nights and upsets can happen. And Australia, I didn't expect to beat Japan. But it seems like we're getting the rub of like the green. We're not getting the luck, like that handball for the Australian penalty. Just things aren't going our way at the moment. So hopefully we can fix that before the next qualifiers or the knockout part of it. And hopefully we progress.
Yeah, obviously they do have that playoff game against the United Arab Emirates, and then obviously the winner takes on Peru. So there is a chance for Australia still to qualify. There's rumours going around. There is a slight chance for Italy to somehow buy a stipulation, but I'm not buying into it. But Campo, we're here for one thing only. It's the Premier League. It's back. The fixtures are on the screen. You've got Liverpool taking on Watford, Brighton taking on Norwich, Burnley City, Chelsea Brentford, Leeds versus Southampton, Wolves versus Aston Villa, United versus Leicester. Don't even care how that result goes, but we'll go into it. I'm just happy they're coming to Australia. West Ham versus Everton, Tottenham versus Newcastle, and Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Now, Campo will jump straight into it. An early kickoff. Sometimes it shows very funny results. So do you see Watford maybe pinching a point, pinching a win, or is this all steam Liverpool?
I'm pretty certain it's all steam Liverpool. Salah should be coming out with a head full of steam after he failed to qualify for the World Cup too. And I think he'll take out his anger on Watford here. I think this is going to lead perfectly into next week's fixtures, but I'll say Liverpool 3-0.
Yeah, I don't see this going any other way. I wish Watford pick up points here and somehow take points. But like you said, especially after that penalty where he looked a bit like a heat map, he had green all over his face from those lasers. I see Salah coming in here and he's bagging one goal, maybe two. So I'm going to go 3-1. I do think Watford will score, but we'll jump into another side of the fence. Obviously, Norwich City, they're pretty much gone. They're taking on Brighton. I'm going to go Brighton 3-1. I can never back Norwich. I will never back Norwich. And the best thing that's come to that club is they won the EA Sports final last weekend. So congratulations to that team. But Campo, how do you see this one going?
I don't know, because Brighton look good in periods, but they also look like a relegation side sometimes. Depends which Brighton turn up. I'm going to say it's a bad Brighton, and I think it'll be a draw, 1-1.
It's a big call. It's a very big call. But you know what? We'll move on to something you spoke about next weekend. It is Liverpool City, which we will get into later on next week. But Burnley versus Manchester City. Do Man City go into that game still 3 points clear? Or could this be a banana slip and Liverpool could go into that game either equal on points ahead or 2 points, 1 point behind Campo? What are your thoughts?
I just think next week is the big one. I think both these teams get confidence. They batter the team they're versing, and you have the best version of Liverpool versus the best version of City. So I think they'll cruise past. I think it'll be 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know if it's my hatred from Liverpool coming in, but I only see this one going one way. I see City winning this, and obviously it sets up an absolute grandstand next week at the Etihad, which obviously we will do a preview on. We might do a bit of an extra preview on that. It's at 2:00 in the morning, so if Morty wants to do a post game, he might do a post game. But I'm going to go 3-0 Manchester City. They're going to get that clean sheet. They're going to take that momentum into that game, and who knows? Liverpool might have dropped points by then. I don't see it happening, but they might have dropped points by then. So we'll move on. Aaron's not here. It's Chelsea Brentford. I don't know about this one, Campo. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm going to sit at a 2-2 draw. I just think Tony, however you say his name, he's been in a bit of form. He's had obviously that rest kind of over international break. So I'm going to go 2-2, and I'm going to say he's going to get back on the clean sheet, on the score sheet, sorry. What are your thoughts here?
I just don't see Brentford troubling big, good defenses. They're just not that good. And when you come up against the likes of Rudiger, Silva, Christensen, whoever they're playing at the back, they're all world-class centre backs. And especially with Chilwell back, I'm pretty sure he's back. And James, that defense will have no problem containing Brentford. I think they'll get it done 2-0.
All right, we'll jump into another game, a team that we don't like giving credit to versus a team you don't really like giving credit to when you have to. Leeds versus Southampton. Both teams should be safe for that drop. Obviously, Leeds are a bit closer, but Campo, how do you see this one going? And could this be the game where Leeds go, we're not going down, we're done, we're safe? Or what are your thoughts?
This game is so hard to predict because, again, it just depends what team comes out. You got Southampton who can, take points off the big boys, but then you get the Southampton that just plays like absolute shit against the small clubs. Same as Leeds, you got that nice attacking, free-flowing football, but then you've also got the Leeds who can't defend it to save their lives. I'm gonna go a Southampton 2-1.
So Southampton 2-1, depending on results, I can still have Leeds 7 points clear of that drop, so they should be safe. They should be playing another year of Premier League football. Now we're going to move on to a team that has ambitions of Europe.
You didn't give us
I don't want to pick either team, but I'm going to go Southampton 2-1 just because I hate Leeds more. But we'll move on to Wolves Villa. Obviously, they are trying to play European football next year in Wolves. They do have a few positions to make up. Campo, I'm going Villa. I think Gerrard has something big going there. He's turning that club around. They're playing interesting football. They're playing good attacking football. I'm going to go 2-1 Villa only because Wolves have been in a bit of form, but I think Gerrard and the boys get the job done. What are your thoughts here?
I'm also going Villa just because Jimenez was sent off last game. So they're missing that focal point up top. Without that main man up top, I don't think they're going to cause them too many issues. And I think Villa will get through 2-1.
Beautiful. Now we'll move on. Obviously, my boys, Manchester United versus Leicester. It has had some interesting ties in the last couple of years. You had Vardy breaking the consecutive goal record. You had us pinching it on the last day to secure that top 4 spot and Leicester bottling it. Now, I look at Leicester this year. They're sitting 10th. They're on 36 points. I'm going to try and do some quick math here. They're 18 points behind the top 4. Is this the fall of Leicester or is it just a bad season and they've just not been capitalising on points?
They've had a lot of injuries. And for a team that doesn't have the best squad depth, if you have that many injuries, you're going to fall. Again, like you don't play with Pereira for most of the season. Tielemans has been in and out. Vardy's been out for mainly the whole season. There's a lot of outs. So a below par season for them, but I think they're still building in the right direction. They still have the good core players. So I think they can still challenge for Europe, just a bad season.
And what were your thoughts on this game? How do you see this result going?
There's a lot of hatred going for Maguire, even at England. Undeserving. Like for England, he turns into Ramos at the back. He's incredible. So I don't get the hate on the English level. That regardless, you're human. That's going to take some kind of toll on your performance. I'm going to go sit on the fence with this one. I'm going to say it's 2-2.
So obviously, I am going to go United win. I think that break probably did us well. You've got Pogba coming in. I'm not sure if he's staying away on international. It's always an interesting one. You don't know which players are going to come back, which players are going to play. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to be a bit more conservative just because I don't know who is going to shape up in this match. Campo, are they tempting you? Are you going to fly to Melbourne and watch them play, or you couldn't give two shits about United coming to Sydney?
Well,
The
only reason I would go is because Ronaldo, and he might even leave at the end of the season. So I don't think I could give two shits.
Well, I'm going to give a massive shout out to Vin. Obviously, he listens every week. He did secure our tickets today. So thank you, Vin, for getting those tickets to that game. So I will be down in Melbourne. Who knows? Ronaldo might be there. They've been using Pogba as bloody advertising. He might not even be there at the end of the year. So that shows you how far United are going at the moment. But we'll jump into the next game because it's nice and late here. We're trying to pump through it. It is West Ham versus Everton. They haven't played European football, so surely you're backing them in a win here.
I just don't want to. But again, it's just good to see Everton fighting relegation. It's just good to see, someone else that's down there for a change that you're not used to seeing. I want them to stay down there, but I don't want West Ham near the top four. I'm going to say 2-2.
So is that you want? I don't know if that's your hatred coming through for West Ham, or if you truly think that's going to be a 2-2 draw.
My hatred's coming through. I want it to be a draw, but I think West Ham will get it done 2-0.
Yeah, I cannot look at that Everton side and I cannot say they are going to beat a team that is fighting, obviously, for Europa, for obviously the Champions League spots. Till technically they're only 6 points off that top four, so anything can happen. Like we said, points on the board are more important. So I'm going to say West Ham are going to win this game. They're going to do it quite comfortably, and Everton are going to hope that the other results this week go their way and those teams below them do drop points. So, Campo, I want your biased and your unbiased prediction here because it is Tottenham versus Newcastle. Newcastle are a team that has been in form since Christmas. They're going to be the first team in Premier League history to not win a game in 12 games and arguably stay up in the Premier League. Tottenham fighting for top four. What's your results here?
Well, we have the player of the month, Harry Kane just secured the player of the month for April or March. We're just looking very, very dangerous right now. All the players are clicking into gear, but same as Newcastle, it'll be a lot closer than I hope. I think we still win because we're at home. I think that gives us just the edge. I reckon it'll be 2-0, 2-1.
Yeah, well, this is obviously an interesting game because you guys played a Monday morning. Arsenal don't play Crystal Palace until Tuesday morning. So this is a way that you guys can put pressure on them. I'm going to back his in. I'm going to say 3-0. I think Kane scores. I think Son scores. And I think you do it quite comfortably. You might be a little bit frustrated with how many goals actually go in, but I think you score one early. You struggle for that middle part. You pump 2 more goals in and you call it a day. And it's always a good day when Newcastle loses. So we'll jump into the last game of this round. It is Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Now, Campo, Tottenham, United, big game for both of us. Obviously, we're hoping that Crystal Palace do take maximum points here. Do you see it happening? Do you see Vieira Ball taking points from Arsenal?
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to say United and Spurs put on pressure on Arsenal and those kids can't hack it and they start cracking. And I'm going to say Crystal Palace get it done 2-1.
Okay, so if that result happens, Campo, we'll just put that in prediction. It's 2-1. Arsenal's lost points. You guys are now equal with them. Their game in hand, arguably, is against you guys. Or if you want to pick the Chelsea game. So it's one of you two. Let's say the Chelsea game. Do you see him beating both teams? Because we've spoken off air, and they haven't really played anyone big in this massive run in. Do you see Arsenal bottling it? Is it that youth that's going to end up ultimately costing them that top 4 position?
I wouldn't say you can't put it all down to the youth because they've got them so far. I just don't see them beating Spurs at, Tottenham's home stadium. They never win there. We don't win at the Emirates. And, just if they come up against a better team than them, they just get slapped up. It's just how it is with Arsenal. I wouldn't call it a bottle because there's still like 6 games after that, and you know how Spurs are. So, but I'm praying for an Arsenal bottle. I really am.
We heard it here first. Campo saying that Spurs are going to beat Arsenal when they play them. So if you're a betting man, chuck all your money on Arsenal because usually when he says that and it's a North London derby, we know what happens. So I'm going to side with you here, Campo. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace. It's definitely not my brain making that tip. It's definitely my heart making that tip because I want to be in this top 4 contention. But we are going to talk about one more game before we wrap up. Obviously, there is a catch-up game, which is on the Thursday, just in case we don't cover it. And it's a massive relegation battle. You've got Burnley versus Everton, which could ultimately save Burnley in a sense, and it could ultimately sink Everton. Now, Campo, this is a game I'm not going to be getting up for. I don't even know what time the game is on, but I will not be getting up to watch a Burnley-Everton game. What were your thoughts on this?
no chance I'm getting up either. I prefer sleep than watching Burnley and Everton play. But I do think Everton just have a bit more, and I think it'll either be a draw or an Everton win.
All right. Well, again, I'm going for pure entertainment here. So I am going to hope that Burnley do take the points here because then they will be even on games and Everton are only 1 point clear of the drop. So I'm going to hope it's entertainment. Obviously, that is the rounds. That is all the games we have covered for you. We will be back for the preview show. We will be back potentially for a Man City versus Liverpool top 11, something like that. But Campo, thank you as always. And we'll see how we go at the end of the week.
Beautiful. Peace.
See you, mate.